Hi, and welcome to an episode of Designed to Move. Today's topic is a very important one in relationship to your functional movement. We're going to review optimal breathing mechanics. When you're done watching our video, you should be able to describe how your respiratory muscles function, what the correct posture of your rib cage should be, and how the coordinated function of your abdominals and your primary respiratory muscle, the diaphragm, function together. A key term we're going to review is called zone of apposition. Understanding this term is key to not only restoring, but enhancing and optimizing your body's functional movement. You're going to notice that we do have a table of contents that define the different segments of today's topic with a timestamp of where they're located in the video. Especially with today's topic, you're going to want to go through all the educational areas before jumping to the suggested exercise intervention at the end. Understanding the structures and the anatomy involved is critical for you to achieve the positive changes that you want from your body. If you have any questions on today's topic, make sure to reach out to us at admin@fluidhealthandfitness.com. Let's get started. So what is the zone of apposition? The zone of apposition, or ZOA, is defined as the area of attachment between the diaphragm directly behind the inner aspect of the lower chest wall and the rib cage. This area is of great importance for proper diaphragm and breathing function, and it depends largely on the anatomical position of the muscle to the rib cage. The diaphragm is your primary respiratory muscle. You use it to breathe inwards. It's a dome-shaped muscle located in the chest cavity, and it separates the thoracic and abdominal areas. It consists of a central tendon, and it inserts into the upper lumbar vertebrae and on the lower chest wall and rib cage. During inspiration, the diaphragm descends while the rib cage expands outward, creating a negative pressure to allow air into your lungs. Additionally, as the diaphragm fibers contract and shorten, the ZOA is maintained through sufficient abdominal oblique tension. This is a key concept, as reduced abdominal tension can impact the optimal ZOA function. We'll learn more about this later. The efficiency of the diaphragm, and thus the maintenance of the ZOA, can also be affected by accessory respiratory muscle overuse, like your neck flexors, or changes in your chest wall and rib mobility from muscle imbalances. So what is optimal ZOA? In general, the ZOA constitutes about 40% of the rib cage at rest, and this can change or decrease with both passive breathing, meaning breathing where you're not thinking about it, and active breathing, meaning breathing that's forced, like during exercise. In short, the ribs are able to externally rotate, meaning up and outward, or internally rotate, meaning down and in. When the ribs externally rotate, the diaphragm loses contact with the ribs. This decreases the ZOA and restricts efficient breathing patterns. This causes accessory respiratory muscles to kick in, like your neck flexors and your pecs. This creates inefficiency for the abdominals. The ribs become externally rotated by loss of muscle tone, causing lumbar lordosis, or a lower arching of the back and pelvic tilting. In order to achieve an optimal ZOA, the ribs have to be internally rotated by way of the resting tone of the abdominal muscles, maintaining neutral spinal alignment. Basically, your abdominal muscles need to be strong enough at rest to hold your ribs down and in. So what is a dysfunctional zone of apposition then? Well, ZOA can be lost or dysfunctional most commonly on one side, but it can also be lost on both sides as well. When apposition is lost on one side, it's almost always on the left side, and is often due to a lack of abdominal muscle efficiency on that side. Whether it's hypertonic muscles or abdominal weakness, this leads to the chest wall expansion and hyperinflation during movements like gait. Another cause of dysfunctional ZOA is accessory muscle breathing. Respiratory accessory muscles include the sternocleidomastoid, scalenes, upper trapezius muscle, and pectorals, which are all often hypertonic and overdeveloped in the presence of a lack of abdominal muscle strength and efficiency. Additionally, the thoracolumbar extensor muscles running along the spine are also often overactive, causing changes in the chest wall shape and creating a suboptimal zone of apposition. So now that we know a little more about what an optimal zone of apposition is, we're going to show you how you can improve yours through a simple breathing exercise. Doing this drill will improve the strength of your abdominals and increase the efficiency and coordination of your diaphragm with your abdominals. Not only will this improve your respiratory function and increase your oxygen saturation levels, but it will also improve the circulation to the disc space of your thoracic vertebrae and better position your pelvis and trunk. So your posture will improve as well. Let's go ahead and get started. Lay on your back with your feet planted on the floor and knees bent at 90 degrees with your legs inside your hip line. Keep a neutral spine by maintaining a slightly arched lower back. Today we're using the PN Medical Respiratory Muscle Training Device to assist in conditioning your expiratory muscles. If you don't have one, you can purse your lips together as if you're blowing through a small straw as an alternative. During the drill, you're going to want to breathe out through your mouth forcefully for a count of 6. Make sure to get out as much air as possible and don't let your cheeks bulge out. Since your abdominals contract on active exhalation, you should feel your midsection engage and feel your ribs depress downward. At the end of the breath, you'll pause for 1 second, then inhale through your nose for a count of 2. Make sure that when you breathe in, that you don't release the tension felt in your abdominals or allow your ribs to lift upwards. This could reduce your zone of apposition. Remember that the focus of the drill is to maintain enough abdominal force when inhaling that you'll feel your posterior lateral rib cage expand into the ground. This action inflates the ribs on the back side of your body, creating a circumferential expansion. This is commonly referred to as 3D breathing or belly breathing. Our goal is to improve abdominal force, not just when it's contracting actively, but when it's also maintaining its passive force as if or when it's being stretched by your diaphragm on inhalation. We want the abdominals resting tension to be sufficient enough to hold the ribs down during a breath in. You'll want to complete 12 reps or breaths of 6-second exhale, 1-second pause, and 2 seconds inhale for roughly 2 minutes of time under tension. Give yourself 1 minute to recover, then complete a second set. We all know it's easy to slouch and collapse into your spine when you're sitting for long periods of time. When this occurs, you can begin to lose the natural S curve of your back and replace it with more of a C curve. This is called hyperkyphosis. While you would think that this would actually improve the resting tension of your abdominals by shortening them, it in fact weakens them by not engaging them with the right tension balance with your back muscles. Completing the breathing drill that we just went through in an upright position can help to reinforce the correct posture of your S curve during your workday. Try to complete the drill for 2 minutes 3 times a day. You'd be surprised by how well this will improve not only your posture, but also eliminate back and neck pain. Not to mention that this is going to help to increase oxygen delivered to your brain, giving you that needed bump of mental focus during the day. Thank you for joining us for another episode. If you have any questions on today's topic, or if you would like to reach out and schedule an appointment for a complimentary movement assessment, reach out to us at admin@fluidhealthandfitness.com or check out Fluid Health and Fitness. As always, your body's designed to move, so stay in motion, and we'll see you next time.